Short-term memory loss due to medical marijuana usage. I'm going to address that in this video. Before I continue, thank you for selecting this video. Give the video a thumb up to help share it with others. Subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell feature, comment courteously below. Now let's continue. Excuse me. All right, so you smoke medical marijuana. You use medical cannabinoids, in whatever form. Largely smoking. All right. Most likely you're going to experience short-term memory loss. Not total loss, but an attenuation or diminution. Can't remember the word. Of short-term memory function. This might have to do, I'm not sure what part of the brain, I'm not a brain expert. I'm not a brainophile. Might have to do with damage to the hippocampus, organelle, or whatever it would be called, an organelle, a suborgan of the brain. The hippocampus is generally said to be involved with memory and emotional responses as we get through life. All right. Might have to do with that. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, whatever it has to do with anatomically, short-term memory loss will occur. Almost guaranteed if you smoke cannabis. All right. Well, that's a negative effect. Some might say, well, that's a good thing. I don't know why somebody would say that, but I'm sure somebody's going to say that. Somebody's going to at least use that as an excuse to, as a reason to overlook a downside of marijuana usage. But we're after self-mastery, mental discipline, better use of the brain and all of its functions, increased control and management over our mental faculties, including memory. Short and long term. Why? Well, for its own reason, for their own reasons, as well as for development of mastery of self by self, personal evolvement, and movement in the direction of full manifestation of true selfhood. At least, well, not just for its own reasons, for its own sake, but also as antidotes, all of these as antidotes to consciousness hijacking and perception deception, which are humanity's biggest obstacles to their spiritual progress, to their cosmic sojourn, to their development, to their unfoldment. So they're becoming more than, to humanity's becoming more than what it is right now. And it's not much, actually, but its potential is huge. All right. That's why. So let's talk about it. What can we do about short-term memory loss? Well, can we eradicate the short-term memory loss effect of marijuana? Can we use a mental technique to counteract or balance out, neutralize, or reverse short-term memory loss as a function or as an organ involved with that if we know exactly what organ or organs are involved. Can we say picture, mental image, memory, short-term memory in our brains, and make it work better by telling it to? A strong acts of will. Well, I say, yeah, we could. Sure, absolutely. But I don't think as a standalone thing, out of the context of all that it takes to achieve mental discipline and mastery of self by self, etc., without all of that coming into play and developing, an enormous capacity with a set of things like control over one's own brain organ in general, life force reserve and distribution in our bodies for healing, and other things. I think it would be quite a task or quite a long one for most people. So is there something a little quicker? Maybe something that doesn't actually fix short-term memory but loss, but gets around it? Yes, there is. We can turn short-term memory events, things that would normally go into our short-term memory, but which aren't working, but which isn't working very well right now. We can put them in long-term memory. Now we're probably going to end up remembering them longer than we need, but I don't see the harm in that if it's going to assist us in our daily living. I still remember, I did this, I've done this, I've tried this, I've worked with this. I came up with this idea. I'm probably not the first one. I doubt it. Why would I be? Well, but I had not encountered it before myself in my life until I came up with it. And I've tried it out. I've used it. I employ it sometimes. I usually don't. But when I do, it works. I still remember where I parked, going on 10 years ago now, a parking space at a local shopping area, a Walmart, by the way, big parking lot. I can point to the place I parked one day, about 10 years ago. Now, I'd say maybe 20% of the time when I go to a place like that to park, I walk out, I have a little trouble. Maybe it takes me a couple seconds to remember where I parked. Like I have to think about it. Like, okay, where did I park? And then I remember a general direction I need to walk. And then I'm walking there, and then I see the vehicle. Okay. I think that's probably about the way it goes with most people. Other times, I have to search for it. And that's kind of a normal thing, too, for some people. Most people, I think. But it doesn't happen very often. With me, I don't know. It does happen. Maybe 10% of the time when I park somewhere, or 5%. I have to search around the parking lot. I have no idea where I parked. Well, okay. Whether that has anything to do with my use of medical marijuana, I don't know. It could. Let's just say it does. Because that's the sort of thing we're talking about here, okay? It's the same sort of thing, regardless of the cause or the reason behind it. Maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention to where I parked. Why? Distractions? Medical marijuana? I don't know. All right. But here's what I did. That makes me still remember where I parked. As I parked there, I put it into long-term memory. How did I do that? Well, I pulled it into the space. I listened to the sound of the motor running before I turned it off, which I then did. Okay. I also put down the window and looked around. I stuck my head out the window. I smelled the air. I looked at the cars around me. I looked at landmark things, nearby surrounding landmark things like light posts, light poles, the shopping cart parking things, rails, slots out there in the parking lot. My relative position to the front of the store. Sights, sounds, surroundings. And then I closed my eyes and I mentally reviewed them. Then I opened my eyes and I did it all again. And then closed my eyes and mentally reviewed them. I did it 3 times in a row. Talked to my subconscious mind and I said, take this information now. As I pictured it going to the back, all this information, this package of information that I've just went through 3 times in a row, reviewing it with interest in this. Why? How interest? I told my subconscious mind as I let all this go to the back of my head and sink in darkness. With interest and emotional content, emotional endowment. Why emotional? Because I was interested in doing this as a thought experiment. I also was interested in easily finding my vehicle. Easily, like joyously, at least happy that I'm not searching for it out there, frustrated when I come back out of the store. And because I knew it has to do with my development of will, self-mastery, etc. And those things are of interest to me for many reasons, with which I have emotional connection. So I recalled something, whatever it was I recalled, that gives me an emotional connection with what I was currently doing. All right. Then I got out of the vehicle. And I went in the store and I came back out and I walked right to the space. Now, that might have happened anyway, without any of this, that day. But I still remember it. And it was about 10 years ago. I don't remember where I parked at Walmart on any specific occasion other than that one, ever, at that Walmart. But I do remember that one. So yeah, it went into long-term memory. I didn't need to remember it this long. But it's kind of cool that I did because now I get to use it as an example right here for you. A real, genuine, truthful example. A fact. A matter of fact. Now that you can do. That doesn't take as long as neutralizing, counterbalancing, or reversing the effects on the brain. And have to do with short-term memory with respect to marijuana uses. This is quicker. It's a way to get around it. It's a way to use long-term memory to overcome difficulties with short-term memory. All right. There you go. Like the video? Thumb up. Didn't like it? Thumb up. Kind of liked it? Thumb up. Subscribe to the channel. Thumb up. Activate the notification bell feature. Thumb up. Share the joy of the channels. Thumb up. Channel, not channels. Thumb up. Share. Comment courteously below. Thumb up. I'm Dirk Strawman, and this is the Ron Kirama Traga. Be well.